All right, so Macca joins me now for his first Tavistock interview. So we'll start off with what brought you to Tavistock, obviously being very experienced in the Devon football scene.
Yeah, I've known Tully for a long, long time, and we've worked together in the past, and we really enjoyed our time working together in youth football. And once he got the job and did some good games last year, he spoke to me about coming in and helping him out towards the back end of last season. I stepped in, but unfortunately got a whack in the ribs, which kept me out for the rest of the season. But he spoke to me over the summer, and I showed a little bit of interest on how I could potentially come in and give him a hand, and it just went from there. And I'm delighted to be here. I'm working with Toles again, and I've already seen that he's managed to build a very, very good squad and an experienced squad, but some very, very good talent alongside it. And I'm here to try and nurture that talent and help him build a successful squad that are hard to beat, but also entertaining to watch.
So a couple of players joining us this year that you will have worked with previously, with the likes of Reece, Craigo and Shane. How important is it for you to have a couple of familiar faces coming in? Like you said, you already know Tully quite well as well.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure how I was going to be received by those guys, because obviously being their manager last year and coming in as the assistant this year. But I've already built a good relationship with them last season, and it was all smiles when I saw them last week, and it was straight into the groove. They know that I work in a professional way. I enjoy my football and expect hard work, but with a smile on my face. And I've already seen it in the sessions that we've had so far that their input, their voice, they know how I work, so that it's very useful for them to help the younger players along with some of the practices and some of the things that we're looking to achieve. But we've got a lot of experience with it in the squad now, and the sprinkling of youth and athleticism, and bringing in goal scorers and creative players is massively important. So we're hoping to work hard over pre-season, build a foundation of defensive shape, and also be able to be flexible with the ball and create problems for the opposition in different ways. So that's very much kind of my remit, and Toles is backing me with that. So yeah, we're enjoying our work together so far.
So you told me you've only been here for 2 sessions so far, but how much do you think you and Tully have been able to rubber stamp your mark on this squad, although only playing with them twice so far?
Well, we speak regularly, and like I said, we have worked together in the past for a duration of time, and it's very much as soon as we got back alongside each other, back into the groove, and working in similar ways with the ideas that we've built together over the years. And Sully trusts me, I trust him, and we work really, really hard. We work well together, and the boys have taken everything on board. I'm one of those coaches that will give a lot of detail, and hold players to account, and expect a lot of input from the players, not just effort but vocally, and they've embraced it. Sometimes players can be a little bit concerned or apprehensive about what we're asking them to do, but they've been fantastic. They've worked really, really hard. They've put a lot of effort in. They bought into our ideas, and we're already seeing a group of players that are relatively unfamiliar, haven't played together a huge amount, starting to gel and build relationships, which is fantastic.
And our last session today before pre-season starts officially on Saturday, with the trip to Camelford and a real good Devon and Cornwall tour this year. How are you looking forward to getting in and playing some games again?
Yeah, it's really important to have a mix of opposition through the pre-season, so you can work on your defensive shape when the better sides have got the ball, and you've got to adjust and problem solve and put fires out in live time. And there's going to be other games where we might have a little bit more of the lion's share of possession, and that's important for the way we want to play, and mix up our play and play with variety, and go in behind with athleticism that we've got within the team. But also we've got players that can play out from the back and open up teams by cutting through the middle of the pitch. So it's important to have a decent amount of games through pre-season, so we can experiment in different ways. But don't get me wrong, we've just spoken at the end of the training session there, and Steve was massively prominent on the way that he put across. We're taking pre-season very, very seriously. We're treat each game with the professionalism and the respect that it deserves, because we've got to make sure that we hit the ground running come first game of the season. I know that we've got Argyle after the first game of the season, but we've got 5 games to get ourselves ready, so we're hitting the ground running. We've got a lot of new players, a lot of ideas buzzing around, but we've got to be consistent with our first performance come that first game of the season.
Yeah, nice. And obviously you've signed for off the pitch as an assistant, but can we expect to see you joining up with the squad if needed on the pitch this year?
Well, I've always kept myself in trim. I love the game, and I'd always give 100% physically, and I'm a bit of a target man. I can play as a defender as well. So if Toles wants me to play, I'll always put my best foot forward and fully give him some effort. He's asked me to keep myself ticking over, and whether he gives me a couple of minutes in pre-season will indicate whether he wants me to be in and around the squad. But I love joining in training and giving those boys a little bit of a different type of challenge up against them, but also giving them a little bit of an opportunity to see different techniques. I'll work with Deeks, I'll work with Jack, and show them some different experiences that I picked up along the way. A few tricks of the trade, if you like, about holding the ball up and movement off the ball. So, yeah, I'm enjoying the role, and I'm excited about the role that I've been asked to do this season for sure.